Hello everyone, and here we are with Shenmue 3. I really enjoy Shenmue 3 a lot. Shenmue 2, and Shenmue 3 are just some of the most unique games available. Even though there are elements in them that are recognizable, there's nothing else quite like them. So what we're doing now, I believe, is our friend Shenhua, her father Yuan, I believe is his name, is missing. And we've tracked down a few clues as to where he might be. We tracked down a bookie with a scar on his face who told us to talk to another bookie, but he'll only be available at 7 p.m. So we have some time to kill until then, which is ideal because Shenmue's about a lot of things, and one of them is exploring and appreciating the world around you. Shenmue has, as a series, has some of the most rich locations in any video game, with tons of NPCs with fully voiced dialogue that most people are likely to never hear. And I love just walking around the village talking to people, hearing all the unique dialogue. You gotta perform jobs to get money to buy food. The jobs usually take the form of minigames, the most famous one being that forklift minigame. But we get to chop wood in this one. And in case you're wondering, Ryo is rotating on his own. That's our protagonist right there, Ryo. He is rotating on his own. I'm not the one doing that. If we split the logs perfectly down the middle, enough times in a row, I do believe we get a score multiplier. But more importantly than that, the music changes. It gets progressively cooler the more logs you split straight down the middle. Of course, I just woke up in real life, not in Shenmue. So, I'm not at my A game here, but more money is more money. We need more money not only to buy food so Ryo doesn't starve, but to play with gacha machines. We want to buy some capsule toys. I just need one. There are different sets of capsule toys, and the current one I'm working on is this heavy machine capsule toy set, and we just need one more. The last one's been evading me for a while now, but if I feed enough money, surely it'll give me what I'm after. And that's why we're here chopping logs. Not just to feed ourselves, but I want to buy more toys. Ryo really likes capsule toys. That's something that's been consistent across all three games. And a lot of people, I don't know, might look at this game and what you do in it. You grind money to feed yourself, to play arcade games, and things like that. They might look at a game like this and see it as just sort of like pointless busy work, but I think it's much more than that. I feel like more than any other game series has, Shenmue shows us what it's like to be to actually simulate life. Like a lot of times in other life simulation games, you have much more control over what you're doing, when you're doing it, and such. But by restricting some of your control and allowing you freedom within realistic environments, I think Shenmue comes much closer to simulating actual life than anything else. And I really like what Shenmue's been doing since the first game, where they contrast Ryo's desire for vengeance because his father was killed, and he's going on a globe-spanning adventure to enact vengeance against the man who killed his father. It sounds like pretty heavy stuff, right? But the games are actually really laid back, as you can probably tell. And sure, there are times where huge set pieces or important action sequences happen, but it's not really the focus of the game. And everyone Ryo talks to is quick to point out that not only is vengeance a bad idea, he never listens to them, but everyone around him points out vengeance is a bad idea, and also, why don't you just take things slow? Why don't you just relax and enjoy the world and people around you? In fact, his father's last words to him were something to that effect, that he should just keep, the most important thing is keeping his loved ones close to him. But he's too young and immature to really take that to heart. The scenery in this game is absolutely gorgeous, by the way. Another thing about Shenmue is that I'm looking for herbs right now. Another thing about Shenmue is that in the previous two games, you didn't really have to worry about hunger. Hunger was something that Ryo did not partake in. His body just didn't get hungry. But it does in Shenmue 3, which I think is a great addition, because, hold on, let's ask these children if they know what's up. Oh, we got a new tutorial blurb. Oh, it's an event.
any money to buy medicine.
Well, kid, that's pretty rough, but I imagine that's something we could help with.
Capsule collection. But I gotta have the whole set, and I'm missing one.
We buy a lot of capsule toys, kid. Let's help out.
Why don't I help you out?
Yeah, we buy a lot of capsule toys. We can help this kid.
Which one are you missing?
The white lure from the fishing series.
Sure, kid.
Okay then. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason we can't just we can't go buy those capsule toys.
Lure? The fishing series ones are at Fast Kitchen. Sorry I didn't tell you.
Yeah, I know where they are, but I appreciate you telling me anyway.
I'll see what I can do.
This is another thing that Shenmue does exceptionally well, is that there's no objective markers or side quest icons. The minimap is completely absent of those things because it's supposed to feel like a real lived-in world, and in real life you don't have side quest markers or giant glowing objective arrows or any such thing. And I feel like this game feels much more natural and real and has so much more heart for just letting you explore it, for letting you get lost in an actual world. All right, the white lure.
Fishing series. That kid said he needed the white lure.
He did say that. There are problems with the games. Like anyone who's played them will tell you the dialogue is a bit stilted and the writing could use some work. But I feel like the slow, awkward pace of the writing actually benefits the game's atmosphere quite a bit because it forces you to take things slow. How much is this costing per pop? Not a lot.
This one is interesting.
I wonder where this kid's finding a place around here to sell capsule toys, because this is a pretty small village. Like honestly, perhaps the smallest village available. All right, no luck that time, but we'll be back. We can't spend all of our money though. We actually went a bit over budget spending that money. Anyway, as I was trying to say before I started talking to that kid, which is an entirely optional event in case that wasn't clear, I really like that in Shenmue 3 you get hungry, because it encourages you to walk instead of sprint, and that encourages you to take in the scenery and move at a slower pace.
I was just starting to get bored. Let's spar.
Yeah, let's. I need to level up my kung fu.
Okay, you're on.
I knew you'd say yes.
So how experience works in this game is you get it by performing the same moves over and over until you master them, which is a lot more true to how martial arts works than the first two Shenmue games. In the first two games, you just mastered a technique by reading a scroll, which is kind of anathema to proper martial arts training. In proper martial arts training, you have to practice things over and over and over until you perfect them. And yeah, like I've said before, maybe some people would look at this and be like, oh, this is slow, who wants to grind like this? But in context, with the story, the characters, and the setting, I feel like it gives it so much more life. You know? Playing this alongside, what's the next move to master? Oh, do we not have any more moves to master? Yeah, I think we're out of moves to master. We'll probably have to learn more from somewhere to master them, because until we get more moves, we can't actually level up our kung fu any further. So I guess we've mastered all the moves we currently have. But in contrast with, like, I've been playing Yakuza Like a Dragon alongside this game, and I haven't been enjoying it. And the reason I haven't been enjoying it is, I think, because it tries to force all of the side activities and insists that this world is interesting, and there's so many objective markers and icons and hand-holding. But in this game, you just kind of explore a small town on your own terms, at your own pace, and there is an overarching story, sure. But it goes the yeah, you've got no new skills to level up, look for a new skill book, sure. I'll keep an eye out for one. But yeah, in this one, when you get a skill book, you have to actually train the skill, which is much more realistic. And Shenmue's strengths have always been in how surprisingly realistic it is. No game is perfectly realistic, of course, but Shenmue's pretty up there. Let's see. Obtain a white lure. Oh, he He wrote down that in his book, his notebook. I'm not sure I want to make money through any other methods besides wood chopping right now. Wood chopping is the safest. So we'll go chop some more wood. And hold on, do we have any food? Okay, well, we'll go chop some more wood for a few rounds, buy food, and then we'll go train at Marshall Hall and buy some more capsule toys. We have time to kill until 7 p.m., as I brought up previously. Hey, buddy. Oh, by the way, can I talk to you about...
Mr. Tao.
Eh?
Do you know the flower, bird, wind, and moon bookie?
There's one in Joy Park. He said something about opening up shop. Go there and check for yourself.
Got it. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd know anything new, but it never hurts to ask.
Excuse me.
That's a huge part of what makes Shenmue so special, is that almost every character has some unique dialogue about the current event that's going on. That's so rare in any video game, is that you can just walk around and talk to people about what's actually happening, and they'll respond. And that's part of why, a huge part of why Shenmue costs so much money, is that all of the characters have unique voice dialogue for practically every event in the game. And that goes a huge, huge way to making the world feel alive. And I can't help but love it about that. And when you do ask someone where to go and they actually know where to go, they give you realistic directions and point the direction that you're supposed to go. It's just a lot of attention to detail and clear passion went into making the worlds of Shenmue. And I think Shenmue 3 is about as good a sequel as anyone could have asked for. Honestly. Like, it's hard to imagine a more faithful follow-up to Shenmue. There are some things that have changed, like I mentioned, the combat and martial arts have changed. They're quite different. But I've also described why I think they're different for the better. And this is the slowest of the Shenmue games. It's not like it's not like the Shenmue games have ever been super fast or anything, but I was on an excellent streak. I messed it up. I was feeling pretty good about that streak, but you can't win them all. It's not like the Shenmue games have ever been super fast-paced, but this one in particular is extra slow, because the first half takes place in this really small Chinese village. And it was really difficult to even get here. It's so far out of the way from the rest of civilization. There's like 50 people in the village, I think is what Shenmue says in Shenmue 2 at the end. So it's not a lot.
No, it's not much, but here, take it.
You say it's not much, but it's fine. Like, for our needs, we do another one and we're good. We'll go buy some food. We'll buy a few capsules, and then we'll go train at Marshall Hall. Hopefully we'll find the lure that kid is after. In Shenmue 1 and 2, the capsule machines had toys from Sega. They don't in this one because Sega doesn't publish this game like they did the first two games. Sega published Shenmue 1 and 2, and they came out on the Dreamcast. Shenmue 1 was like an incredibly impressive game the time it came out. It was the most expensive game ever produced at the time. It was crazy how lifelike it was, how expansive the story's scope was. There were a lot of things to appreciate about it. But I think the most important elements, the life simulation elements, the unique gameplay loop that no other game has quite done properly, I think that those things carry over into Shenmue 3. Shenmue 3 might be my favorite, but I'm going to try out the Shenmue 1 and 2 collection and see if... Because Shenmue 2 is pretty great. The characterization in Shenmue 2 is fantastic. There are a lot of things to appreciate about the side characters in Shenmue 2 in particular. Shenmue as a series likes to heavily contrast Ryo's obsession with vengeance with everyone else around him. The people around him, just constantly tell him what a doofus he is for pursuing vengeance, and how worried it makes them, how they're afraid for his health, and they just want him to be happy. And they try to teach him better, but he doesn't listen. And it's just kind of great, isn't it? It's just kind of cool to live in a circumstance like that. Usually stories are more streamlined than this. Like, we haven't explicitly made any story progress this entire time. Well, yeah, we know he's in Joy Park, Rio. No need to write that in your notebook. There hasn't been... No, wrong capsule machine. We need to buy food, and then we're going to go train at the Marshall Hall. And then we'll buy capsule machine... We'll buy capsule toys, rather, from the machine in town. Because the one in town has the lures that the kid needs. I don't know if that was supposed to happen. That's actually the first time I've seen a glitch that bad in any of the Shenmue games. Where's the food stand? Here it is. Like, sometimes character models jitter a bit in the other Shenmue games, but... Alright, time to buy a bunch of black garlic. People have been eating it since 4000 BC. Let's just buy a whole bunch of black garlic. Alright, and then we'll play the capsule machine.
I'll give it a try.
Mm-hmm. And we can also complete our own lore set later, because the kid only wanted the white lore, and we're getting a lot more than that. If I recall correctly, you can sell your own capsule sets, just like the kid wants to sell his. But I don't know if I'll ever sell any.
This is great.
Because I want the whole sets. I'm not really into capsule toys or anything like that in real life, but Ryo certainly is, and we're playing as Ryo right now. And there's a lot of fun capsule toys in this game. Granted, the lures may be one of the least appealing, one of the least alluring ones, you could say.
This one is interesting.
But you know, having capsule machines in a town this small, it's pretty nice in itself, isn't it? Everybody's passing the same money between each other, though, I have to imagine, unless there's someone who comes to town to take their goods and transport them elsewhere. It doesn't seem like Bailu, this village, gets much interaction with the outside world.
This is great.
We'll get that white lore in no time. Though, at some point, I have to wonder, maybe we should just help the kid out with our own money.
Interesting.
But you gotta do things the right way. It's not just about doing them the fast or easy way. It's about doing them the right way. All right, we're gonna head to train at Marshall Hall. It's almost 6 p.m. it looks like. Well, it's almost 5 p.m., but 5 p.m. is just a short hop away from 6 p.m. Look at that gorgeous sky. I think after training at Marshall Hall, it'll be almost 7. So we'll be able to head to the bookie we need to talk to and ask about where Yuan's not Yuan's father, where Shenmue's father Yuan might have been taken. Because we have a strong suspicion that Shenmue's father was captured by thugs, but you know, the world moves at its own pace. We can't make it go any faster than it is. So we'll be there at 7. Hey, Leo.
Hello, Leo. Ah, Rio.
If only those thugs would show up. I'd love to make them suffer with my own 2 hands.
I see.
Good talking to you. Maybe a little bit of a violent chat, but we're not one to talk because we're trying to seek vengeance on our, what's his name, Lon D, for killing our father. So, might be a little hypocritical to say you're a bit violence focused, but it is the case, right? All right, we're here to train. Let's shove some garlic in our face. And let's see, horse stance first or 1-inch punch. 1-inch punch first. Also, we got some additional health. I didn't even notice, but from training in town, we got some additional health. I wonder where we could find more skill books. Someone in town probably has some. But we've got the 1-inch punch to practice right now. We'll worry about more skill books tomorrow, probably. The timing on this There we go. It's something I haven't quite figured out yet. But I really like the indicator for it. And the sound when you rattle the wooden dummy is really satisfying. We're making pretty good progress. I think I've only missed one so far. Training does use your hunger, your stamina, your health. The green orbs down there, they're your hunger, your stamina, and your health all in one. And you get better gains if you have more health. I really like that as well. A lot of people complained about Rio getting hungry and how the gains are affected by his stamina, but I love mechanics like that a lot. Like, anything to better put me in the character's shoes is something I generally appreciate about a game. And Shenmue 3 in particular has a lot of that.
Maybe I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, maybe we will give it a shot. Now, granted, this isn't as much a dummy as a visual aid. But I imagine a visual aid would be pretty helpful for something like this. It's called Horse Stance 1. I wonder if Horse Stance 2 looks any different. I wonder if there's an appreciable distinction between Horse Stance 1 and Horse Stance 2. It does not appear so. There's always higher to go, though. There's always better to do. You can't think that just because you've mastered Horse Stance 1 that you've seen all there is to see about horse stance. There's so much more to the world. There's so much more to horses. One of the things I find most compelling about this game, and Shenmue 1 and 2, is the amount of effort that went into things that just don't make it into most games.
Should I keep going?
Like, there's so many ways to train, and there's so many people to talk to, and so many ways to look at this unique setting. Alright, we've leveled up our Kung Fu a bit. Maybe this time we can take down the...
Excuse me.
Here to train? Have you come to spar? Or fight one of the monks? Which
I've come to fight one of the monks.
You're after a fight? You shall face Blue Tiger. The fight is yours to lose.
We'll see if I lose. I might. I've leveled up my Kung Fu a bit, though. I've got my elbow and tornado kick ready. The Marshall Hall soundtrack is my favorite in the game.
You're no simple opponent.
Thanks, I like to think we're no simple opponent.
Is that all you're made of? Stop, that tickles.
I really need to get better at counterattacks. Yeah. This guy's pretty far out of my league right now, I think.
You're not strong enough. Polish your techniques on the wooden dummy.
Oh, don't worry, we already did that. But yeah, I think I need to get better at counterattacks.
I should eat something.
I think right now I'm probably a bit too aggression focused. It's yeah, it's 6:10. We have a little bit longer. I think it's actually possible to jump to the next story beat. Yeah, it is, but I don't want to do that. I don't even know why that feature's in the game, honestly. That feels so antithetical to what Shenmue is. The idea that you would just jump to the next story beat. I don't really get why you'd want that in a game like this. Sky's changed color. I think we have time to chop some more wood and buy some more food, and then we'll head to the head to Joy Park. There are also herbs to pick, but I don't see any around here. Hello, Liu. We're not going to talk to you again because you'll probably say the same thing about wanting to hurt people. Which, again, it would be hypocritical of us to call you out on that. But there's only so many times you can hear it. I really appreciate how naturalistic the landscape is. Everything's not, like, flat, you know? We're here to chop some more wood.
Excuse me.
What is it?
You know why we're here.
I'd like to help you split some wood.
Now we're talking.
Maybe this time we'll get a new high score.
Yes. That's it. Perfect. Yes. Mm-hmm. Good. Yes. That's it. Perfect. Mm-hmm. That's it. Yes. That's it. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh. That's it. Yes. Mm-hmm. Good. That's it. Good. That's it. Perfect. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh. Mm-hmm.
You know, long before I actually played Shenmue 3 for the first time, I did have several of the soundtracks on my phone that I listened to pretty regularly while exercising.
I know it's not much, but here, take it.
Looks like it's just about 7 p.m.
No, I'm good.
Well, I ain't forcing you to do anything. The job will be waiting for you.
Oh, it's 7 p.m. Yep, just turned 7 while we were talking. Does our watch say Shenmue 3 on it? That's a bit goofy. Let me buy some black garlic from him.
Excuse me.
What is it?
Sorry, we need some garlic. We are very hungry.
What's that? I'll be here.
Thanks.
Alright. Now let's head to that park. Joy Park, the arcade where the bookie's waiting for us. Right after we eat something. There we go. It's you commonly hear people complain that nothing like happens in the Shenmue games, but I feel like that depends on what people consider an event, right? Like, does anything happen much in your day-to-day life? Not really, right? But it still matters, doesn't it? Now, where is he? There he is. That's the one.
Excuse me.
Hey there! Try your hand at Flowerbird Wind and Moon. Care to try it, handsome?
Thank you.
I just have a question.
Aw, why so serious, buddy?
I hear those thugs cause some trouble.
You're telling me. It was awful.
What happened?
I'll tell you all about it if you play around. You gotta win, naturally.
Alright, sure.
The game isn't free. Buy some tokens first. I can't believe this generation.
Alright. Goodness, that guy's very serious about this whole Chuck E. Cheese situation they've got going in this tiny village. But I suppose we'll play by his rules.
Hi there.
Buy some tokens if you want to play.
Sure.
It's 10 you're on for 100 tokens. How many do you want?
I think you might have slurred that a bit, buddy. What? Oh, we can probably exchange the tokens, is what that is. Alright, yeah, sure.
can
You're
exchange
welcome.
tokens for prizes, so be sure to head to the prize exchange after. You can
Maybe.
then take your prizes to the pawn shop and sell them. So more tokens means more money. Good luck out there.
There's a pawn shop, huh? I suppose that's where the kid must be planning to take the lure set. Alright, we're here to play.
Excuse me.
Hey there! Try your hand at Flowerbird, Wind and Moon. Care to try it, handsome?
Do you have a moment?
Aw, why so serious, buddy?
What happened with the thugs?
I'll tell you all about it if you play around.
Alright, he's not letting us
Naturally,
talk until we do what he wants.
I'll have to collect your bet in advance.
Sure. Alright, it seems that we can only bet in 50.
All right.
Which do you bet on? Flowerbird, Wind, or Moon?
Let's see. Bird. I like birds.
This one.
Coming in.
Big fan of birds. I knew the bird wouldn't let me down.
Bird. Oh, it looks like you've beaten me.
Thanks.
Things are just heating up.
What happened with the thugs?
Yes, what happened with the thugs, please?
Busted everything up and stole my money. I've lost a fortune.
Understandable you'd want us to play the game in that circumstance.
I'll make this right. I promise. Tell me more.
All right, might as well. Two of them came here that night. One was a big, long-haired guy. The other had his head shaved, showing off his spider tattoo.
That does match the descriptions we heard earlier.
Long-haired guy and a bald man with a spider tattoo on his head. Got it.
They kept threatening me, asking where the stonemason lives. I tried to...
Sounds like these guys probably kidnapped Shenhua's father.
So they'd buzz off.
Her father is a stonemason.
So that's how they found Joe and Wong's houses.
Then they came back to yell at me because they didn't find who they wanted. I handed over some money and they let me go, saying something about...
Oh, an actual location.
Grove.
That's the first solid lead we've gotten in a while.
Got it. Thanks. That's a huge help. It's gotten so dark. Maybe I should head back to Shenhua's house.
We've got a little longer, Rio. Not much longer, but a little longer. We'll head to bed at 9 p.m. But first, we want to try to use the capsule machine one more time. See if we can get that white lure. We didn't go over budget this time though, but we're gonna have to chop a lot more firewood tomorrow to make up for what we spent today. That's for sure. I mean, we're about to go over budget, but we'll just have to chop wood twice as hard tomorrow. Just one crack at the game though. An orange lure. It's not what we're looking for. Good enough though. Now let's spend the last few minutes we have in the day asking about Sunflower Grove. You hear of Sunflower Grove?
Hello and welcome. Oh, did you come alone today?
Yes. Which way is it to the Sunflower Grove?
What business could you possibly have there? It's not even a village. It doesn't even have a store.
I'm chasing after some thugs.
Ah, so that's it. In that case, you'd better hurry. Go to the bell tower up ahead and take the right at the fork.
Got it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. That was actually very helpful. Right at the fork at the bell tower. All right. So we know where to chase the thugs. We have a pretty good lead on who might have taken Shenhua's father. Hey there.
Excuse me.
What is it?
Hate to bother you, but
It all comes down to fishing.
what?
Anyway, there are lots of people who want to fish. Lots of people after the one that got away.
Right.
Lots of people after the rare ones. Basically, their lives are defined by fishing.
I see.
Thank you. That was very surreal. Incredibly surreal, sir. Alright, it looks like we can't really do much before heading back to Shenhua's house. Might as well just walk around until it's time. Yeah, we have a pretty good idea now of where the thugs went, and it sounds like it's very likely that they took Shenhua's dad. Everyone around here is like really laid back, and even an event like thugs coming in doesn't seem to shake them too bad. Shenhua did also say that the bar is open and that we could have gotten a lead on the thugs from the bars, but I decided to go to Joy Park instead because that lead seemed more promising than the bars. But the bars were also a pretty good lead because apparently the thugs were seen at the bars. So it could have gone either way. Oh, it's about to turn 9. D&D each day at 9 p.m. You get back to Shenhua's house, you can talk to Shenhua. Maybe have her talk about the day's events before you get to bed.
Hey, Shenhua.
What is it, Leon?
I'm heading for the Sunflower Grove. I heard that's where the thugs went.
Are you serious? If you find them, then you should be able to find out where my father is.
That's the plan. Don't worry. I'll find them.
Thank you so much.
You just really have to be on board with the game's slow pacing, I feel like.
It's jam-packed with sunflowers for starters. It's quiet out there. Just flowers and some old ladies raising cattle.
Sounds nice.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Kids like to play around there though, so it can get a bit loud. I hope they don't get mixed up with those thugs.
Me too.
I guess we'll see tomorrow, won't we?
I really hope I find those thugs tomorrow.
Me too.
Before they bother any of the kids.
Agreed. Please be careful, okay?
I don't know. This game's just lovely. There's nothing else quite like it, even the games that have tried to be like it. I feel like people who are trying to rush through the game and aren't patient in exploring the world or meeting the game on its own terms are really missing the point of the experience, you know? It's lovely. It's about as good as a sequel to Shenmue 2 could have been. Alright. I think that's enough for now. Tomorrow we gotta go to, tomorrow, of course, we're going to train and play with Gasha before going to the thugs, but we'll still go to the thugs when we get there.